you very much. Again, my name is Todd Bowman. I'm the Senior Director at Merkle, managing our Amazon and e-retail team. I've been with Merkle for about 10 and a half years, coming in through an acquisition, managing our feed management team before Google Shopping, and then transitioned into the Amazon side a couple years ago. So why are we talking about Amazon today? Well, you've heard the stat a few times. Amazon is 50% of product-related searches are going to Amazon. Or starting on Amazon. One stat you may not have heard is that 92% of people who start their search on Amazon actually convert on Amazon. So everyone, a lot of people are Prime users. They've got an amazing loyalty program going on. So it's something, obviously you want to be thinking about. Now, a few other stats to think about is right now they're the 5th largest ad revenue platform in terms of, scale or in terms of market share. And eMarketer thinks that they're going to be there by 2020. But based on their Q1 earnings, I'd probably say they're going to overtake Microsoft and Oath by next year. So it is, and they only really started in paid advertisement probably like 3 or 4 years ago, really getting into it with the search side because they had display for a few years before that. So something really to think about. And I don't know if you guys heard about it, but they kind of created their own holiday, Prime Day last week. Kind of a big deal. Not only was it their biggest 36 hours ever, Target and Walmart also had a pretty good day as well. So Amazon's really like disrupting a lot of the space, especially in the ad revenue. About $4 billion was spent in the 36 hours for Prime Day. Now, when you advertise on Amazon, you want to be thinking a little bit differently of who you're talking to. So the Amazon users, the customers, are going to be, again, loyal, very loyal to Amazon. A lot of times they're there looking for reviews. They're coming in, they're more they have a stronger purchase intent than you have with Google. So a lot of times people searching on Google might have higher funnel searches, just I don't even know what I want, just what's available, whereas Amazon people have a little more idea of what they want and they're coming in, have that higher purchase intent. Now, one thing as we talk about the ads is the people-based marketing side, which is something we love to talk about, is it's not as advanced as it is on other channels. So on the search side, there really isn't people-based marketing because there's no way to use audiences, but you can on display side. Whereas on Google, you've got all kinds of opportunities, RLSAs, customer match, a lot of great things there. Now, when you're thinking about Amazon, you want to think about their flywheel. So there's a lot of things on selling on Amazon you need to be thinking about. The first part is you want to have really strong product content. The customer is going to be on your page. You want to make sure you sell your product and put as much effort into it to tell your story as you can. The other part is that they have an algorithm that's pretty strong when it comes to search for relevancy. That's going to look very heavily on your title, your bullet points. Again, people want to see your images, so you want to put a lot of focus there. Now, if you have new products or if you don't really have a lot of traffic to your products, then you want the paid media. So the paid media then starts supporting that, drives more traffic to your products, gets more sales, gets more reviews, and then that all builds into your earned media, which then Amazon says, hey, this product is actually pretty good. Let's start giving it a little more organic rankings. And so it is kind of tough where Amazon's taken a very similar approach to Google. And I like to tell people I think Amazon's probably about 5 to 6 years behind Google when it comes to their ad search platform. But one of the things that they're doing pretty quickly is they're taking that approach that Google did of, I'm going to put as many paid ads in the top fold as possible, and then organic, I'm just going to push it down. And you'll see that as you kind of look at ads these days, and I got a couple examples as well. So that's why search is so important. But there are still a lot of people that say they're still not really sure about these sponsored ads on Google, on Amazon, and they are going to scroll down on the organic side, and so you want to make sure that you're there. Now, as we want to sit there, now we want to talk about kind of this optimizing product content. And so again, like I talked about, this is your chance to tell your story about your product and sell your product. Why is it different? What's so important about it? How do you make sure that your product is relevant in the searches? And it really starts on the product page, and there's a few areas to be focusing on. So we're going to look at these Bose earbuds, and we're going to kind of go through it in different parts. So first thing is you want to have really strong high resolution images. Your main images has to have a white background, but then you can have lifestyle images. And as you can see here at the bottom, they've actually put a video in as well. So if you have videos, another good thing to put in there, make sure that people can zoom in and zoom out of the product. I mean, I'm sure everyone here has bought on Amazon, and you've gone and you've looked at the images, want to make sure it's the product that you want. So you want to focus on and make sure you have really high resolution quality images to start. The next thing is your title. in your title, you've got about 150 characters to play with, and you want to make sure you're putting as many relevant attributes about your product as possible. NPN a lot of times can help, especially in electronics, because people might be searching for that. You always want to have your brand and any other information that people are looking for. We'll talk a little bit about how you continue to curate what your title looks like and going forward, but here you can see they've got the color. They say that they're headphones, they're wireless, it's Bose, and then they've got the Sound Sport, which is kind of like their product name. So this is the type of thing when you get to your titles, like put as much in there, but also front load it. Because titles will get cut off in certain situations of the SERP, could be on mobile, so you want to make sure you front load your title with as much information as possible. The next thing is your bullet points. And I think this is where there are a lot of sellers on Amazon that are not taking advantage of bullet points the way that they should. You should probably have about 5 to 6, and usually if you have 5 to 6 and you use up all the characters, they're all going to show up. Sometimes they get cut off though, so you want to make sure, don't put so much text in that it gets cut off, but put enough text in where people understand what your product is. The bullet points are used in the algorithm for the SERP, and so it's really important to make sure you're putting anything you can't put in the title, you put into your bullet points. How can you use your product? What are some other key features of it? Here they actually talk about there's a Bose Connect app to find my buds feature. I had no idea that was actually a thing. And for me, if I had these earbuds, I would probably use it all the time because I definitely would lose them. So here, utilize this and make sure that you're looking at what's the information that people are looking for. Look at other channels as well. What are you hearing from customers that's important about your product, and make sure that's here in your bullet points. The other thing is to variate your products. So I don't know how many people really pay attention when they're searching, but the one thing you probably don't want to do is go to a product, and then you go to that product page, and it's only one size and it's one color. And then you've got to go somewhere else on Amazon to see another size and color for that product, and they go to another page and see the same thing. If you variate your products, put it all under a parent product, and here you have a set with earphones, and you have a set that's with the car charger as well. Put colors, sizes, any types of variations you have, make sure you put as many as you can, so when the customer's on it, they can just scroll through and see all the options that they have, and then help make sure that they're purchasing the right product. And it also keeps them on your page, so they're not going to go back and maybe have a chance to see your competitor's product, and you lose that sale. Now the description. Description isn't really used for the relevancy, and probably most people don't scroll down and actually read the description because a lot of times it's small text. But it's still important for those customers that are going to go through there. Make sure you have a strong description there to tell, again, what the product is. If it repeats what the bullet points say, that's fine because it's still providing more information to the customer as they scroll down. Now, these are the basic things when you think about a product page you want to focus on. And as a brand owner, as a manufacturer, you have these capabilities to update this stuff. Now, if you want to get to the advanced level in terms of optimizing your product data, you want to be thinking about your A+ content. So A+ content shows up under the product details, which is where the description shows, but allows you to really tell your story. So a complaint that a lot of people have had about Amazon, we heard it earlier in some of the sessions, is Amazon owns the whole customer process, and you don't really get to tell your story. And that's been a problem with a lot of brands as they've sold on Amazon. This gives you that chance to tell the story and can actually increase your conversions on your page by up to 11%, according to Amazon. So take that for what it's worth. But you can have images. The great thing is it's templated. So all you're doing is take your piece of copy, put it in, make it the right size, type in some content, and then you can really build it out the way you want. And a key piece of this, and I think is one of the most important things about the A+ content that everybody should be doing, is this comparison chart. So this comparison chart is customizable. You can make sure you put all of your products in it, whatever things you want to compare, and always have that link. See how they're all linked at the top. That way, someone's on your product page. If they're not really sure, like say with the mattress, they came to the queen. They're like, you know what, I'd rather have a king. So as they scroll down, they see the king link and they stay there. Now they're going to stay within your brand halo, and that way you're keeping your customer within your products versus going to your competitors. And I think it's a key thing. And if that's not there, then Amazon's probably going to put up their own that does have your competitor products on there. So just be thinking about that. One stat that someone from Amazon told us one time is traffic to a product pages comes mostly from other product pages, not from the SERP. So I think it's a pretty interesting stat to be thinking about, and make sure that you're driving those traffic to your product pages through your own brands. The other thing, which came in around last year when they adopted it, was Amazon stores. Now this is another chance for you to really tell your brand story. You build your own store within Amazon. You can put in your own URL. So for this brand right here, Classic Brands, it's amazon.com/classicbrands. The great thing about this is you build the experience, you put your information, you can customize your categories, you can have subpages that you take it down to, and you can even use other forms of advertising to drive to the store page. So if maybe you don't have a direct-to-consumer website where you don't have you can't have conversions on your website, you can actually use Amazon for that. Use your Facebook ads, use your Google ads, use other different types of ads, run them to your Amazon stores page. You know the customers on Amazon are going to be more of that higher buyer intent, and you can then drive more sales through Amazon with your stores page. And the key thing that's available right now is you can see the sales from your ads. So you can put a tag on your URLs for, let's say, your Google ads. We'll start there. When someone clicks on that ad, they go and they buy from the store, you're going to see the sales driven by that tag. Now there's some limitations in terms of which ones they actually show you, but that ability is there, which I think is a huge thing for stores, because now you actually understand how much your other programs can be driving sales on Amazon. And again, it's templated. You don't have to know code. Just have your creative built out based on the formats that they have. Put your content in, and then you just plug in whichever products you want to advertise. So it's very simple once you have that creative. The key now, something that historically with Amazon, and you could probably see it if you looked at a lot of product content, is people would just set up their product content and forget about it. They just put it up there, let it go, and whatever happened. That's not the way to go anymore. You can't have stale data anymore. You've got to always be thinking about what's next, what can I be doing to make my product content on Amazon better. And thinking about a process like this, like have that discovery session, what's important about my products. Audit, what do they look like? What are my competitors saying about the same products that they have? What am I missing? What keywords are important? And then develop that roadmap, launch the new products, and measure what happened. And then the key piece of that too is test. You want to continue testing. And where do you get your keyword information from? You can get it from search term reports on Amazon. You can get it from looking at your competitors. And you can also look outside of that and what keywords are being searched for on Google, on Bing. What are you seeing from Facebook? Like, think about all that information that you have. Utilize that to optimize your product and always be testing, finding out what's going to be the best way to go. Now, once you've got your product content, we got that top part of the flywheel done, then we want to talk about paid ads. And paid ads, again, it's a newer platform. The display side really kind of got kicking around 2014. The search side got started around 2015 when they shut down that wonderful CSE called Amazon Product Ads. Does anybody remember that? As a CSE manager at the time, we were heartbroken that it went away because it was the best one that was there, and now the rest of them are pretty much dying too. So, but one thing that's important about advertising on Amazon is that only 30% of people actually click past the first page, the first SERP page. And so you want to be front and center in front of the customer at all times. Like I said, organic's getting pushed down, so your competitors can be there in that spot. So you want to make sure you're not losing the share from them. When we think about advertising on Amazon, like we've talked about, there's two types of ways. There's search and there's display. If you think about a funnel, they kind of fall in different areas. We're going to focus on search today. A key thing to think about here is you have to sell on Amazon to do search. So the only way you can do any of these ads is you have to be selling on Amazon. Display is different. If you don't sell on Amazon, you can advertise on display and utilize Amazon's first-party customer data for audience targeting, which I think is a pretty key thing. So if you don't want to sell on Amazon, definitely consider the display side of things. So if we think about Amazon search ads, there's 4 key strategies that you can be thinking about that are just basic strategies, but they can help you be successful on Amazon. The first one is acquiring new customers. The second is upsell and cross-sell. Steal market share, so go after your competitors. And then protect your brand. I think Amazon tells people to really go after their brand, to go after competitors, so make sure you protect your brand. It is important to have your ads there when they search for your brand, because otherwise you can miss out. The acquiring new customers, the great opportunity, target those competitive non-brand terms and things like that. So I was supposed to have a partner in crime today. This is Liam. He's turning 12 months tomorrow, so he had to prepare for his birthday party. So he didn't come here today, but he wanted me to tell you a few things about Amazon and advertising. You got sponsored products. These are a lot like PLAs. You can have automatic campaigns that are exactly like a Google PLA, or you can have manual campaigns where you can do keyword targeting. CPC based. They have the most traffic and the highest ROI of what we've seen. Most people put about 80% of their budget towards it. Headline search ads. Headline search ads are going to be bannered at the top. They're showing up at the bottom and on the side rail now as well. They have very strong return. We actually saw a higher sales per click on Prime Day from headline search ads than we did for sponsored product. But you're limited on your traffic because they only show up in a couple places. And then you have product display. So product display is only available through for vendors, so people who wholesale to Amazon, the 1P sellers. But this is different because it's not keyword targeted. It is CPC, but you can target interest, subcategory, or other products. So let's talk a little bit some strategies on that. So Liam wanted me to talk about he needs diapers. And before he was born, I had no idea. I knew he was going to need a lot of diapers, but wow, I didn't realize how many we had to buy. So you go for a search, you search for diaper size 3. Here you can see Huggies is running sponsored product ads showing right up at the top, even though Pampers might be very popular. What you can do here is the keywords. You have 3 match types. You have broad, you have exact, and you have phrase. You should be advertising on all 3 match types. Even though you don't have audience targeting, you can target intent of the customer based on the keyword. Bid your exact terms more or higher, and then your broad terms lower because of the customer intent. The other thing too is make sure you're using your Google search term reports to know what are prospect your keywords. Talk to Amazon; they'll send you keywords if you want, and use those automatic campaigns to understand because on the automatic campaigns, Amazon. Ooh, that was fast. Amazon's going to basically figure out your relevancy. So I get really tired now because I have a baby and I like to drink coffee, which I never did before. So here's a headline search ad. This one, you have different landing page options. You can land on the product. You can land on your own customer landing page or the store page. Again, you have all 3 keywords to be thinking about, or keyword match types of broad, phrase, and exact. So be using all of those. Again, bid those. Now, important thing is choose very good keywords, because if you have a low click-through rate, the keyword will get paused and you can't delete it out of your campaign. So there are some quirks in Amazon. Now, Liam is getting very close to walk, so he uses his trainer. So if we want to search for a trainer, a little cute guy there, huh? So Juvie is taking over the whole thing, and this is really what your goal should be. Take over the headline search ad and take over the sponsored product at the top. Make sure you own the entire SERP. And then our house is a mess. It's hard to clean up. And so here you've got iRobot, but a great thing here with Nito is doing with theirs, they have ad copy in their product display ad. They're going after the iRobot and trying to pull the sales from there. So definitely this is where they're targeting the product and really something to go after. When you bring that whole funnel together, if you add display, you can really bring it all together and drive a strong lift on branded keyword. Amazon says it happens about 145% increase in all their case studies they've had. We've been able to see 245%. So there's a lot of opportunity to really think about that full funnel approach. And as CommerceNext asked me to add some benchmark data, because I think it's something you want to see. In our latest digital marketing report, Amazon search, not the display side, grew 165% year over year in terms of spend, whereas you can see Google, Facebook, and Bing didn't grow as fast, but remember, Amazon's not as mature as those channels. And then thinking about clients, on a median side, what you can expect on getting on Amazon is to see about 100 and you can see triple-digit growth year over year if you're applying the right tools and the right capabilities to Amazon. So our median is we're seeing about 111% year-over-year growth for clients. We are seeing that about the same ROI as we saw the year before. And a key stat that we saw is that we drove more revenue in Q2 of 2018 than we did during the holidays in Q4 2017. So really showing the growth of Amazon and the volume that's there. So key takeaways. If you're not on Amazon, think about it. If you can't sell on Amazon, you still should consider paying attention to what they're doing in your space. Don't be stale. Make sure you're always testing your data. And then third thing is use advertising to drive traffic to your products. Thank you very much, and sorry I couldn't have Liam here with us today, but I appreciate your time.